it is and what's good, y'all. Welcome back to the 280 Plus Podcast. I'm your host, Lowe's Def. And before we get started, man, I'd like to thank the audience, thank the viewers, thank the listeners. Man, we rolling, man. This is episode 62. And as y'all can see tonight, man, I'm by myself. You know what I mean? And it's all good, man. You know, I had a guest lined up. And things just ain't kind of work out. And hopefully we got a reschedule coming next week. I'm pretty excited about that one. Y'all gonna be, I think y'all gonna be pleased with that one. Yeah, I mean, I just predict it's gonna be good, man. So, man, solo tonight, man. And sometimes it's funny because when I got these solo episodes, it feels like I have more to talk about at times. You know what I mean? I get to get into stuff that I might not be able to talk about with every guest. You know what I mean? Like certain things. If I'm talking to a female, I'm not gonna talk about the NBA playoffs, or maybe I'm not talking about battle rap and things like that. So you're gonna get a nice little. We got a lot of topics to talk about tonight, man. So I'm pretty excited about that. So man, let's get started, man. So one thing, obviously noticing, is just the way things change, man, in life, you know what I mean? And, one thing is, aging, right? You know what I mean? So, I'm noticing I got, I already had a couple grays in the beard, you know what I'm saying? Like they right in the front there. So if it looked like something is in my beard, like if you're watching a recording, it look like something in there, it's probably a gray hair, bro. It ain't no food or nothing, man. It's a gray hair. And it's all good, man. It's all good. Yeah, we embracing it. But, however, I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little bit shocked because I just saw, for the first time, I saw I saw gray hair in my head. You know what I mean? So I just got a haircut. And, man, I seen like one or two on this side, one or two on that side. I was like, your boy getting that salt in his head, man. You know what I mean? It's a little peppered out here, you know what I mean? So, so, trying to embrace that, man. But one thing too, let me say this first. So I'm embracing my age, whatever, but I've been outside a little bit more lately, you know what I mean? And they've been saying, I'm looking in my 20s, you know what I mean? And that's a compliment. Like, I'm like, what the heck is it? And it could be one or two things. I mean, maybe it's, I just look good for my age, or your boy taking good care of himself, or maybe a third thing, maybe I'm dressing like a young boy out here, you know what I'm saying? And speaking of fashion, whatever, let's talk about the latest phenomenon right now. You know what I mean? It's summertime, you know what I mean? So everybody, we getting the shorts out, we getting, you know what I mean, the ladies getting the dresses out, you know what I mean? But with male fashion, we talked about this last year too. These shorts for men, they're getting a little shorter, you know what I mean? And I'm embracing, going above the knee a little bit, you know what I mean? Like at the knee or above the knee, I'm embracing that. But the latest trend is, we call them these Hoochie Daddy shorts, man. These Hoochie Daddy. I mean, your brothers, y'all wear the Hoochie Daddies, man. Y'all wear the Hoochie shorts, you know what I mean? Shout out to my man Jalen though, man, because he definitely a dude that, he don't care about what y'all think, you know what I mean, and things like that. And his style has always been, he always pushes the envelope a little bit. And I remember him saying something on Twitter like, yo, I remember when I was wearing the short shorts and y'all was looking at me crazy. Now everybody trying to wear the hoochiest shorts out there, you know what I mean? And it's getting a little bit reaction from the women, you know what I mean? So recently I seen on a social media platform, I seen a woman say something, and I'm not defending it because I don't wear shorts that high, you know what I mean? I don't wear the mid thigh joints yet, you know what I mean? I'm not there. But I seen a woman say, she was like, I already know if a man is wearing skinny jeans or the short shorts, then he ain't the man for me. She said, I like my thing swinging. Pause. Right. She said, I like my thing swinging. And she said, I know if he wearing something like that, you know what I mean? Like if he really packing, basically, it don't fit, you know what I mean? And I don't know about that because I'm not checking and looking, whatever. I think that might be a misconception, whatever there. So this is an opportunity for the men. I mean, to defend yourselves, man. I mean, like like the ladies, they sleeping on y'all, man. You know what I mean? They thinking that you ain't equipped right. You know what I mean? If you dress in a certain way. However, I've been talking to some women, and some of these ladies really like the short shorts, man. They like the hoochie daddies. You know what I'm saying? And they think it's a look, but obviously, with styles and like I said, with time, we talking about age a little bit. Everybody not quick to adapt. You know what I mean? And I know I'm not. Like I said, I ain't there yet. You know what I mean? And ain't no shame in my game either, but. I just thought that was funny. So yo, ladies, what y'all think, man? Y'all like men wearing, and we gonna call them hoochie daddy shorts. You know what I'm saying? Y'all like the men wearing them, fellas? You know what I'm saying? Have you embraced the new style? You know what I mean? In terms of how we wear our shorts and things like that. I just think it's funny. Well, I seen my man on Twitter, my Struggle Breed Success, my man Nook. He was sounding off a little bit, saying some, y'all brothers, y'all can't be calling yourselves hoochie daddies, man. Y'all gotta draw the line there somewhere. So, and I caught that today, and I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, man, chime in, man. What y'all think about that, man? What y'all think about the shorts and stuff like that? So, since it is 280 plus. Since we gonna keep it true to the platform, whatever. Let's get into some tweets, man, that I've been seeing. Recently, that really been catching my attention, and I think are some decent little conversation pieces, man. So this is from Say Cheese, man. I seen this, and it was like it was about basically selective hearing and how men have selective hearing. So it said that on average, men listen to their partners, spouses, girlfriends, right, for an average of 6 minutes, versus when they're talking to their friends, they can talk to them and they can listen for up to 15 minutes, whatever. So what does that tell us about, what selective hearing and what men kind of care about in terms of what they're hearing and things like that? I started looking up like where I could find this survey, and actually this is a thing. Like, this is something I seen dated back even to 2014. People was talking about this even in 2021. Yeah, I mean, and when I looked deeper into it, what they were saying was, when women are talking about their feelings, men on average can only listen to about 6 minutes of that, whatever, versus when they're talking to their friends about sports and their sex lives, they can listen for about 15 minutes on average, whatever. So once you get that little bit of context, I think that's fair. Like, you know what I mean? Like, usually a lot of times, women are talking about their feelings. If a man is not listening to your you talking about your feelings, it's probably because he I would say this, more likely than not, he doesn't reciprocate those same feelings that you have. You know what I mean? Like, it's not about he don't like you. Well, maybe it is he don't like you, whatever. But it's, you know what I mean? Like, we if the feelings ain't reciprocal, whatever, or if you're beating a dead horse, because there's times where, women are talking about their feelings and it might be something that a man felt that he already addressed. You know what I mean? And if you keep on talking about the same things over and over and over again, men are going to end up tuning you out a little bit. You know what I mean? So make sure that y'all got to have that. I think communication is key there. You know what I mean? And you gotta create a space where you can be open about those type of things. You know what I mean? Things like that. So, but then obviously, like, men, when we talking about the things that we like, because we probably don't like to talk about our feelings. You know what I mean? Like, we like to talk to our women about different things, but maybe not our feelings or her feelings, whatever. But of course, if I'm talking to my bros about sports and we talking about sex and things like that, like we gonna get into it, whatever, and talk in those conversations, and it's gonna keep our attention. So I don't like when they dig into the survey, it makes sense. You know what I mean? But I don't know, like, cause I seen some women on the comments and stuff like that saying, they're making all type of disparaging comments about men, like, oh, they gay and this and that, bros before hoes. Yeah, we knew y'all was suspect. Like, I'm seeing stuff like that. So I think we need to kind of chill that noise out. You know what I mean? And like I said, we dig into the actual survey and what they were talking about. It makes sense to me. You know what I mean? We ain't trying to hear you lament and you know, we don't like those we need to talk kind of conversations. You know what I mean? Things like that. Like you hit a man up with that. You preface it. You hit him with that text message like we need to talk, or I feel that, right? You start a conversation with I feel that. You probably already gonna lose that man's attention probably in the first 2 minutes. You know what I mean? So if he's listening to you for 6, maybe you need to be grateful, or maybe you need to, like I say, you need to come up with a different kind of space and opportunity to kind of talk about that type of stuff, though. So that was interesting there. What y'all think about that, man? What does that tell y'all about men and women? Maybe, and you know what? I want to hear a survey on the opposite way. I want to hear how long do women listen to men? Because I think that's one of the things too. Like I think if a man doesn't feel that he's being heard, you know what I mean, when you're talking to him, he's less likely to, you know what I mean, to listen to you when you're talking to him about the things that you care about. So I think that's a two-way street there, and I think there's a remedy for that. You know what I mean? So let's move on, man. So obviously, like it's getting hot out. You know what I mean? It's summertime coming. Like I mean, this is a good Memorial Day weekend. I mean, went to a dope little cookout over the weekend. Got in some pools and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm feeling really good about the summer. And but one thing though about the summertime is that if we not grilling outside, you know what I mean, the cooking kind of takes a back seat a little bit. So we eating out a little bit more, you know what I mean. So let me ask y'all, man, what's y'all least favorite thing about going out to eat with people? You know what I mean? I think, when that comes to mind, that topic comes to mind, obviously I think the splitting the bill always comes up as a thing, you know what I mean? When people want to split the bill, even though they order in more than what they, I'm not with the splitting the bill type of thing, like not a whole, like, oh, we're going to split this however many ways, because I'm pretty particular when I go out to eat what I want. I don't really drink a lot, so if I'm going out to eat with the person that's popping the bottles or ordering all type of, shots and drinks, I'm not part of that bill. You know what I mean? That's your bill at that point in time. But the one thing, I think the number one thing though, because that can be remedied, you know what I mean? But the one thing that you can't really stop once you already start is being out with somebody that complains and complains to the waiters and gives the waiters a hard time. Like I don't like going out with people like that. And that was what they said in that tweet. They was like, yo, I hate going out with people that give these waiters a hard time and complain. I remember a story. I remember I was out to eat one time, and this was years ago. You know what I mean? And I was at Applebee's. So, whatever. The service is what it is. The food is what it is. Whatever. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to Applebee's, you're not expecting a 5-star meal. You know what I mean? You expecting what you get from them. And I remember seeing this lady. I was out to eat, whatever. But I remember seeing this lady giving this waiter a hard time. Like, she was sending everything back, like every little thing. And like the complaints, they were so minor. You know what I mean? Like, if it's something that, like, if we talking about food allergen, that's different. You know what I mean? But we talking about like the aesthetic of what your plate looks like and this and that, whatever. And it's like, yo, the thing is, for me, if the food is that bad, whatever, or if it ain't coming out the way I want it to, I'm not gonna keep sending it back. I mean, I remember watching what was that movie from back in the day with what's it called, Waiting? I think it was called Waiting, with Justin Long. And I you know what I mean, we all fear that type of stuff, but basically it was a movie about like waiters and like the ins and outs of being in a restaurant, you know what I mean? And yeah, man, they had a whole routine for people that was sending food back, you know what I mean? Spitting the food, this and that. Like, I don't got time for that, you know what I mean? So I just I'll chalk that loss. I'll chalk that, If we went out to eat and I ain't like the meal, I'm gonna chalk it. You know what I mean, take the L. And I probably just won't go back to that restaurant for a while. You know what I mean, or I'll order something different. But I'm not gonna keep sending stuff back. So I thought that was interesting there. So what y'all think, man? What is y'all least favorite thing? Comment below, man. Comment. What's y'all least favorite thing about going out to eat with other people? You know what I mean? Which leads in another tweet. All right, and this is gonna kind of segue into one of my first things I'm talking about here. So this is funny. This is from a user, and I think we probably got like a mutual follower, something like that, or we follow somebody mutual, and that's how I came across it. But so from They Hate Duffy, he said, I was talking to my mom, and she was saying a bunch of stuff she refused to do in relationships, as she's 67 years old, single, and moving into her son's house. Now, that was kind of when you think about it, it's kind of ruthless, like a son talking about his mom like that. However, if we take it back to, we talked about Kevin Samuels a couple episodes ago, man. Rest in peace to Kevin Samuels. And, when I think about, when I see that tweet, I think about Kevin Samuels a lot. I think about the sentiment that he was trying to push. And he was basically trying to encourage women to avoid that scenario, being 67 years old, single, and just trying to figure it out. But also still maybe having some bitter things and like a bitter attitude about relationships, and not being cooperative. You know what I mean? That I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. Well, you know what I mean? At 67 years old, your prospects are very small. You know what I mean? You ain't too many older men out there, looking for relationships. You know what I mean? They might be looking for somebody to die comfortably with. You know what I mean? But they not looking, they not trying to take your baggage, whatever. And 67, that's past the cougar phase. You know what I'm saying? That's like Grandma Puma. You know what I'm saying? Like we not checking for Grandma Pumas out here, man. So, yeah, that one, like I said, Kevin Samuels talk about that danger zone, man. Stay out that danger zone. Find those compromises, man. Obviously, everybody's allowed to have standards. You know what I mean? We talked about that too. But you got to be reasonable. Sometimes you gotta, if you have a history of failing relationships, at the end of the day, if you have a history of failing relationships, you have to look at yourself in the mirror at some point in time. It could be something that you're actually doing. It could be things that you're saying. You know what I mean? It could be your attitude. But it could also just be your choices. You know what I mean? Like maybe you continue to deal with men that just aren't compatible with you. You know what I mean? And I was gonna say that's okay. It's not okay if you think that there might not be something within you. You know what I mean? You always gotta look at yourself, and that goes for men too. You know what I mean? If you out here truly bashing women, and you think that women are this, and you think that women are that, and obviously there are some generalities, because a lot of times when we talk about human nature, there are patterns, and like a lot of times people do the same things, male or female. But even for men, like, yo, if you out here and all you have to say is like negative stuff, and you gonna say what you not gonna do in a relationship, then you probably just not gonna find a relationship, man. You might just be a single guy. You might have to live that bachelor life the rest of your life, man. So that's just some food for thought, man. But this is a good segue though, because it's funny because let's get into Atlanta, man. So obviously that season is over, and the episode 9, the penultimate episode of that season, because the season was only 10 episodes. Rest in peace to Kevin again, man. I did not know that he had a cameo in Atlanta this season. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, he passed away before that episode actually aired to the public. You know what I mean? Now, I'm hoping that he saw it, whatever. But to me, just on Kevin real quick, seeing him there, man, it really spoke to like, yo, this man had like he had potential to just do like we didn't even see the gist of really what he was gonna offer us. You know what I mean? And I'm just talking about just the culture. You know what I mean? Like this guy could act, like he did a good job. And I think if we would have, I think he was gearing towards it. You know what I mean? He was changing his platform a little bit. The look was a little bit different. It was getting a little bit more refined. And I just think that if he would have hit mainstream television, he would have changed so many. I think he would have changed so many lives, man. And actually for the better. Like and people don't like his delivery, you know what I mean? And yeah, it is sometimes how you say things, whatever. But in this day and age, that type of stuff, that type of talk cuts through. I mean, Kevin Samuels would not be who he is if he didn't talk the way he talks. You know what I'm saying? If he was just like, oh, well, you know, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that, then people wouldn't listen to him. But it's because he gets straight to the point. He be talking that shit, you know what I mean? Talking that real, that I mean, if we really sit back and listen to what he talking about, we probably agree. It's just for whatever reason, we feel the need to defend these people that he's talking to, these guests that he's talking to, like they can't defend themselves or for whatever reason. You know what I mean? So that was interesting. But I wanted to talk about Atlanta real quick because this season, I would say, man, overall, it was a miss. This season was a miss. Like, we did not wait this many years for that season. Yeah, you know I mean, they took a different approach. And 10 episodes, right? 5 of them were what we call anthology episodes, right? And then 5 of them were based on the plot. So the anthology episodes, they would talk about it would never have any of the main characters in it, right? And Kevin Samuels was in an anthology episode. So they would never have any of the main characters in it, but then they would talk, basically it would be an overarching thing about like just some type of social thing that's going on, maybe within the culture, within the black culture, you know what I mean? You know, one of the episodes, you know, it kind of played on the joke of like, you know, kind of playing on like household dynamics with kids and their parents, whatever. And, you know, how, you know, you don't when it comes to discipline in the home and things like that, and how certain families kind of deal with things differently. And, you know, the joke was basically, you know, CPS got, and this is not funny, like in general, but this is on the show, like CPS got called on the parent, and then the parent was like, take them, go ahead, whatever. And it just this message of like the grass is, I mean, not always greener on the other side. Now, this little boy did not want to go, and he was part of a crazy little foster family, whatever, that didn't work out. You know what I mean? So you got to check that out and why it didn't work out. But there was another episode about reparations, which I did talk about that in a podcast, and that was dope. And the episode, one of the episodes that Kevin was in, the episode was called Rich Wigga, Poor Wigga, right? And I think it makes you question, what does it mean to be black, right? What does it mean to be black? So in that episode, right, you got this super high yellow light skinned brother, right, who is passing as a white man. Like, he's passing as a white boy. Like, he's a high school student, whatever. And he's kind of like, he has white friends and things like that, you know what I mean? He's like, he's trying to fit in with the white crowd, whatever. But he, you know, he's raised in a black household, you know what I mean? He's being raised by like his uncle and aunt who are black, whatever. And in that episode, though, Kevin Samuels is like, he's a famous person in there, whatever, and he tells the auditorium, it's like he's talking to the graduating class. He says, "Yo, I mean, congratulations, class of 2022. I mean, y'all been working hard." He's like, "Yo, I'm gonna pay for everybody's tuition in here." Everybody went crazy. They was like, "Oh, whatever." And he said, "That's black." So he was only gonna pay for the black students' tuition, and the white students in that episode, they were up in arms. They were like, "Can he do that? Yeah, I mean, that's racist." Right, whatever. So then you got this black kid that's passing as white, and basically he has to, like, Kevin Samuels tells them, "Yo, come to the auditorium, whatever." and I'm gonna write you your check. You know what I mean? So when they go to the auditorium, they got to audition. They have to prove their blackness, whatever. And he's answering the questions and things like that. And basically, he fails. He fails the test, whatever. And he was offended because he knows he's black, whatever. Even though he wasn't, even though he don't like try to portray that, whatever, in his friend groups and the things that he does, whatever. He's still a black kid, though. I mean, he's still, I mean, by ethnicity and culture and race. I mean, he's still black, but he didn't pass the test, whatever. And you know, they laid into him, whatever. You know what I mean? And the way that episode ends is crazy. But like I said, what does it mean to be black, man? Is it hanging out with your peers in your culture? Is it the way you dress? Is it the way you talk? Is it, you know what I mean? Is it your mannerisms? Like, what is it that makes someone black? I mean, because a lot of times too, man, we, you know, unfortunately as black people, we do that a lot of times too. We try to take other people's blackness away, you know what I mean? Or, you know, there's colorism and things like that. Cause that's probably why we try to do it, because, you know, we've been embedded with some of these like negative ideologies and ways to divide people that we kind of get wrapped into that type of stuff too. So that's a good question for y'all, man. What does it mean to be black in today's day and age, man? Like, is it a feeling? Is it just, do you just have it? What is it, right? And then the other episodes were the you know, the main plot. And it just was a miss, man. It just was a miss. Like, they were in Europe this whole season, and it was a lot of wild, crazy stuff. Some of the episodes were entertaining, but like in terms of just a show, it's like if this was the first season of Atlanta, then then we would know what the show was hitting for or whatever. But like, since we already have a history of the show, and then you took 3 or 4 years to release a new season, and then you give us this, it as a fan of the show, as a fan of that program, you know what I mean, felt a little gypped a little bit. So what did y'all think about Atlanta this season? I already know my man Dev from Group Chat Chronicles, he was not really a fan of that. So I just wanted to hear y'all opinion, man. What did y'all think? I know some people that don't watch it at all because they just kind of find it to be a little bit absurd and weird, and like there's a lot of awkward moments, whatever. So I want to hear what y'all think, man. If y'all watched Atlanta, what do you think? If you haven't watched Atlanta, I actually recommend just check it out, see what you think for yourself, man. I don't make me be the bearer of bad news, whatever. Right. Let's see. Let's move on to the NBA playoffs. Yeah, man, the Warriors is back, man. The Warriors is back into the title game, man, into the championship, into the finals. And yo, what a story, man. What a story. Like, for them to really stay the course. Like, they are unlike any NBA team that we ever seen. Like, in the last, well, I'll say other than the Spurs, when the Spurs was going through dynasty, I guess they run. In the NBA, we rarely see teams stay the course, you know what I mean, and keep their core players, you know what I mean, keep their core players intact and keep trying to win championships and things like that. Like we rarely see that, whatever. And when they lost to Toronto, it felt like the end, you know what I mean? Because, and it felt like, it was like a fall from grace, you know what I mean? Everybody started getting hurt, you know what I mean? You had Klay Thompson get hurt in that game 6, you know what I mean? You had, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. So it just felt like, Steph was banged up, and it just felt like, dang, like, this ain't it, man. This ain't, like it's over for them. So then, obviously, we get it, they stayed the course. They lose KD in that process, whatever. Klay was basically out for 2 years. You know what I mean? He basically was out of the game for 2 years, and they stuck the course, though, and they got back. And they got the right complementary pieces. You know what I mean? You talk about when they won their first title, they had Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes is not weak, but he's not like a superstar. You know what I mean? Replace Harrison Barnes with Andrew Wiggins. You know what I mean? Okay, I think that's pretty comparable. You know what I mean? They got like a lot of young guys. They got some good young players, whatever. They got a deep team. And then this year, when they managed to pick up and utilize Jordan Poole, man, Poole gives them just a different dynamic that they don't have. They don't really have it, I guess, maybe since like Iguodala. But Iguodala turned into a 3-and-D type of guy, but they don't really have nobody that like really slashes to the paint. And Poole can shoot a little bit. He ain't a splash brother for real. But he does create the pool party. You know what I'm saying? And it's good seeing him, man. He really attacks the cup. He's a little bit reckless at times when I'm watching him. I'm like, oh stop! Like he dribbles too much. I mean, but it's effective, man. And playing with the second unit coming off the bench, like he's doing his role, man. He's playing well. I like to see. I want to see the Celtics and the Warriors in the finals. And hold on one second, Speaking of the finals, though, I would really like to see the Warriors play the Celtics, because it kind of gets into my, like, Tatum is like one of my, that's probably like young players. That's one of my favorite players out there right now. He's just truly coming into his own, man. So like when this airs, whatever. We'll be getting ready for game 1. And hopefully it's the Celtics and the Warriors. I got whoever the Warriors play, I got them winning in 6 games. And I know that might, for some of y'all, that might seem like a stretch. Like, dang, how you got them beating this team or that team, whatever. I think of the teams left, they are probably the most complete because they're the most experienced. You know what I'm saying? Like they know how to play with each other more than any of these other teams out there. You know what I'm saying? And like I'm gonna bet my money on Clay and Steph and Steve Kerr, quite frankly, over anything that these other teams got. Also too, I want the Celtics to go because I think like I said in my example with the Warriors, teams don't typically, front offices in the NBA, they don't typically stay the course. And if the Celtics lose another conference title, I fear that they, there's a chance that they could, break up certain parts of their core, whatever. And I think they have a championship caliber team. It's just it's about experience. Now I know you can't just be stagnant either. You got to retool. You got to come back out with better players and stuff like that. But I don't think you got to like. I don't want to say trust the process because I don't. And when we talk about Philly, I don't think the process was the best thing that they could have did. But I think when you have certain pieces on your team, you can quote unquote trust the process and kind of see how kind of things play out. And if they make the title game, if they make the finals and they lose, I think it's gonna energize that franchise to say, okay, we know what we got. We just need this. If they lose in the Eastern Conference Finals, then it's like, oh no, this team, no, we can't win with this team. Now we got to go a different direction. All right, so man, this game is coming down to the wire. The challenge was unsuccessful. It still was not an offensive foul, though. Like, where's the offensive foul there? But I don't know why the Celtics are trying to go into traffic. Like, why go into traffic and you're going against 2 players right there, basically, and then you let them get 2 easy buckets. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God. Oh, wow. Why did Jimmy take that 3? Wow. Jimmy Butler's crazy for that. He really was trying to get these niggas out of here. Why pull up right there? Oh man. All right. So it's official. It is official. The Celtics will be playing the Warriors in the finals. And I do have the Warriors winning in 6 games. I'm impressed with what the Celtics were able to do. I mean, they had a nice turnaround midseason. Their core of Smart, Tatum, and Brown are balling. However, and we've seen it in this Miami series, whatever. they don't always know how to finish games, right? And for them, home court, they don't really have good home court advantage. But the Warriors do. The Warriors play really well at home. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is, they have an advantage at home. The Celtics don't have an advantage at home. You know what I mean? They don't always win at home. You know what I mean? So I would say I'm going Warriors in 6, man. Impressed. I'm proud of Jason Tatum, proud of Jaylen Brown, proud of the new coach, man, Udoka. You know what I mean? Able to kind of get his team up there. And I just can't wait to see. I can't wait to see some of these matchups, man. Like, it's gonna be kind of crazy. Like, some of these matchups are gonna be crazy. And yeah, if the Warriors go small, I mean, with their small lineup, what are they gonna bring? Who are the Celtics gonna kind of combat with that, whatever. So that is that on that. All right. Let me get into battle rap, man. This is one of my favorite topics, man, to talk about. And right now we in the midst of, like, this is like tournament season right now in battle rap, especially in the URL. So they have a tournament now every year for the last couple years. They do 2 a year, but this is the 5th installment of Ultimate Madness. And the biggest and most memorable Ultimate Madness final was Geechi Gotti versus Rum Nitty in Ultimate Madness 3, right? And that's when Drake, added the extra $50,000 to the pot. Geechi and Rum Nitty end up splitting the money. Rum won the fan vote by 1 vote, but it never was announced who won through the judges, whatever. Like, they never announced that, whatever, because once they did the fan vote, then they announced, all right, well, let's, we're just gonna split the money, whatever. So it's the 5th installment now, and I think their pattern that they're going is, like, they're gonna try to get the stars in one, and then they're gonna go for, like, younger guys in another one, right? So it's the 5th installment, and I gotta be honest, some of the names that were in this tournament kind of shocked me, and one of them was Geechi Gotti. Like, and I get that he won it, you know what I mean, or he was in the championship round, and him and Rum, did that split, whatever. But I don't think that he needed to be in the tournament. Like, I don't know if it was the best timing for him to be in the tournament. And he's not hurting for bread. You know what I mean? So, like, unless he was just trying to, stamp his legacy and say, yo, you know what I mean? Like, if he really thought he was going to win it twice in a row, more power to him, whatever. But, like, it's something like, I think if you win something like that, I don't think you need to participate. Like, I'm not saying that they should be disqualified, but I think it's the tournament you become kind of big. Once you win the tournament, you become bigger than the tournament. But then if you come back and you lose, then people are going to talk. So let's talk about that, man. One of the biggest headlines, though, from that first round of Ultimate Madness was the Geechi Gotti upset. Geechi Gotti lost, man, a judge battle. And it's kind of crazy because, like, some people don't like Geechi. I'm a big Geechi fan. They call him the king of debatables and stuff like that. I think he's the most consistent. And I think what you're getting when you get him in a battle, you know what I mean? And I think he's always gonna do his thing. When I think about so far in 2022, he had the Mike P. I mean, he had some battles, you know what I mean, whatever. Like, the most notable ones are gonna be Mike P, Jazz the Rapper, and then now this battle with Tru Foe. And with Mike P, he destroyed Mike P, whatever. But then when I'm looking back at it, like, it was only one round, and he might have been only going 80% with Mike P. Like, I don't even think his energy was crazy, but, like, his material wasn't, like, it was good. It was good material, whatever. But that wasn't, like, even the best Geechi I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? And then he had the battle with Jazz the Rapper, and he did have a little battle before that with Clean Paper. With Jazz the Rapper, it was kind of a letdown battle. You know what I mean? Because the fan vote. You know what I mean? He did lose the fan vote. A lot of people, though, feel that he won that battle. I just don't feel like he didn't go hard. Like, you know what I mean? And then, so it raises questions like, yo, is he taking it easy? Is he, you know what I mean? Is he getting a little lazy? So, battling somebody like Tru Foe, A guy that's a up and coming guy, a guy that's hungry. You know what I mean? Who he lost the tournament. UM4, he lost in UM4, which he was cooking too in UM4. Like I thought he was gonna make it to the finals, but he didn't last. But facing a guy that's hungry like that is a dangerous matchup. Every matchup is dangerous for Geechi because everybody gonna give their best shot, whatever. So I watched the battle. I watched it twice. I watched it 1.5 times. So I got like through half of it, and then I watched it again. So I was able to see the first 2 rounds twice. And it was interesting because Tru Foe must have won the fan vote, because when you look at the judges, it was 2-2. But then it was like, oh, Tru Foe moves on to the next round. And I'm like, well, but when you watch it back on the app, they don't show the fan vote. So it makes you think like, well, he must have lost the fan vote, because John said that he won, Geechi won, and Quest McCody says that Geechi won. Calico said that Tru Foe won, and Polo, who was like a blogger, said that Tru Foe won. If I look back at the battle, I mean, Gotti clearly got the third. I think Tru Foe clearly got the second, and the first is debatable. I think Tru Foe. I think Geechi had amazing material. Like I think his material that he rapped against Tru Foe was better, and his actual rapping was better than the Mike P stuff. Way better than the Jazz the Rapper stuff, whatever. He was talking, man. He was really talking to Tru Foe, and I think he edged the first. But Tru Foe, I think, like I'm not mad at him winning that battle though, because he had like some room shaking haymakers. You know what I mean? Like he had some really memorable bars. So did Geechi, but like I think he had the ones that would really speak to the crowd, like really kind of placate to judges or the crowd. You know what I mean? Maybe fans, and or maybe too, you know, if he won the fan vote, it could have been something too. Like fans get fatigued, man. Fans get fickle, and they don't always want to see the same person win. You know what I mean? Like I just talked about sports. You know, there's people that Warriors ain't do nothing wrong to nobody. There's people that don't like the Warriors to win all the time. They don't want them to be in the finals this year. You know what I mean? Think about LeBron. LeBron was in the finals 9 years in a row. You know what I mean? I'm one of those people. I didn't want to see this dude win. You know what I mean? All 9 of those times. So, you know what I mean? The great ones, you lose, but you get back. So I'm interested to see what Geechi's next battle is going to be. What kind of energy he brings, you know what I mean? And I think if he brings that Tru Foe energy, he's in good shape. If he brings the Mike P energy, he's in good shape. If he kind of takes the foot off the gas and he's battling somebody he don't really want to, you know, beat, I think he's in trouble. But I mean, like I said, the great ones rise to the top. Another battle that kind of stood out, well, just memorable to me, but it was because of the circumstances, and it was Rum Nitty versus real name Brandon. They only did 1 round because Rum Nitty was actually a substitute, so he's in the tournament again, but not by like choice or not by original design. He was a substitute for Twerk, and I just say Rum is nice, man. Rum is nice, and he might have a easy shot to get back at that title. I don't know. I think with UM4, I think the 2 weeks prep, I think that's what makes it challenging or whatever. But you can't have people back out. You know what I mean? Like Smack, I don't know what you got to do, but you got to make it so that, like, you know, like if you back out, like you have to commit to being in UM4. You know what I mean? And if you back out, like especially in the first round, and we have to have something like that, because Rum Nitty's a substitute, and he beats real name Brandon in a 1-round battle when everybody else had to beat their opponents in multiple round, in a 3-round battle. Like that's not, you already starting with, like, it already looks kind of rigged a little bit. You know what I mean? So like, I think to avoid that, you really gotta make sure that these guys commit. You know what I mean? And like maybe there has to be some type of discipline or punishment if somebody backs out, because you're jeopardizing the brand like that. You know what I mean? That can hurt the tournament for years to come, especially if that repeats itself, if that kind of trend happens again. You know what I mean? That doesn't bode well, whatever. So, but like I said, I like what they do with Ultimate Madness 4. If you win Ultimate, if you're in the finals, that guarantees you a matchup at Nome. You know what I mean, with your finals opponent, whatever, and that's just exciting. You know what I mean, like seeing that, whatever. And I like how that goes down, whatever. And it makes the matchup mean something, and I think that's pretty dope, man. And I like the direction of that. And shout out to speaking of battle rap though, shout out to All About the Hussle, man. 717 battle rap podcast platform from my hometown. And yo, man, this guy, him and Ty Nasdaq, man, they are doing their thing. They are getting like famous battle rappers on their platform. Like, whenever they have interviews, you're getting a legend. And I gotta tell you, man, I was excited, super starstruck a little bit when I got to talk to Jae Millz. You know what I mean? Like, and if y'all don't know, man, like, I don't say he's my favorite rapper anymore. But like for probably up until maybe like 2016, Jae Millz was still my favorite rapper. Now that doesn't mean that, and I always make this distinction. Somebody being your favorite don't mean that they're the best. Like just because Jae Millz was my favorite battle rapper, that don't mean that I thought he was better than Jay-Z, or thought he was better than this person, that person, right? I'm only gonna say Jay-Z, right? Speaking to him, like it was like full circle. It's like, yo, I remember watching this guy. I remember like following this guy, like his whole career, and just thinking like, yo, this is the time. This mixtape is gonna be what gets people to notice him. When he got to Young Money, I thought, yo, he was gone out of here. Like he was gonna be a superstar, because Young Money at the time, obviously we had good music. We had MMG, whatever. But Young Money had, you have Wayne, you have Drake, you had Nicki. Like at the time, those are the three biggest rappers in that time frame. And just thinking like, yo, if Jae Millz gets a song with Drake, it's over for him. Like he's out of here. He's gonna be like a superstar. And he never got a Drake track. And but it was good seeing him, good talking to him. I like to see. I would love to interview Jae Millz. And obviously, not stepping on my boy's stuff, All About the Hussle. But I think we have a little bit different kind of conversation. But Jae Millz, man, was a humble host, and he answered my questions. I was talking about ghostwriting, and I think he gave us a politically correct answer. But it was still dope, man, because he was very transparent. And he gave them dudes, man, almost maybe over an hour and a half of content, man. So shout out to him for taking the time out to really touch the people and be a part of a platform. Even like think about, he's a legend in battle rap. You know what I mean? He's he has plaques. You know what I mean, for music, and for him to like talk to a rising platform like All About the Hussle, man. That's a big deal, man. That's a real big deal. So that is that on that. And before we go, man, last thing I wanted to talk about, man, this is, the touchy stuff, man. This is the stuff that, people don't really want to talk about. I don't really want to talk about it either, man, because it's just what it represents and just the implications of it, man. But, like, obviously, there was the tragedy in Texas. I mean, we know what happened with the tragedy in Texas with the children, and we had the assailant that harmed those children, and the teacher with a deadly weapon. And man, like, there's so many ways that I could kind of talk about this, whatever. But obviously, we have a problem in our country, man. We have a problem in our country when it comes to guns. And when we have a problem. One, we have a perception problem, right? We have this idea that arming more people and having a whole bunch of people strapped is the answer, right? Which I don't think that's the answer. I don't think we should arm teachers. I mean, like, first and foremost, that we shouldn't do that. But I don't think nobody wants to take, like, I think, sure, we can have the right to bear arms, whatever. But I think when it comes to guns, it's an issue of, like, yeah, like, properly training people, properly vetting the people that are buying the guns. I mean, I think that's what happens to it. You'll have certain sides of the argument. They'll say, well, people can lie on background checks and people can lie on applications. Sure. But if you I don't think it should be a process of where you can get a weapon the same day, whatever. Like, maybe there should be some type of psych evaluation. There should be training involved too. You know what I mean? Like, you should have to maybe train with some type of practice firearm. You know what I mean? Before you can actually get and you had to prove that you passed, whatever. Because I think those type of restrictions will at least slow down the process of these things, whatever. You know what I mean? Because if you can be mad and who knows, maybe this is a firearm that, I didn't look at all the details, whatever. But just in general, I'll just say if you can just go out and buy a gun and then the next day do something crazy, then that means that maybe that there should be a little bit slower process, whatever, when it comes to that. But I just don't want us to, like, hold the Second Amendment as, like, the gospel, and for us to think that there's no possible way that we could do reform gun laws. Like, there's when it comes to training, you need more training. You need more hours of training to get your driver's license than you do need to get a gun. If you want to cut hair for a living, to make money cutting hair, you got to spend way more hours than you do if you want to buy a firearm and hurt people. So I think just when we think about common sense reform, I think we need to maybe start there. In terms of protecting schools, most schools have school resource officers already on deck. And this is an eye-opening experience, though, too, man, because for the first time I've seen in a long time, we have police officers that are admitting that they messed up. They admitted that they did the wrong thing, and they could have did it better. And then the idea is, then I'm hearing people say, well, yeah, maybe because they weren't trained on this situation. Well, the thing is, we've been telling y'all that police have not been trained on many different situations. And obviously, we don't want young kids to be harmed, whatever. And we want to believe that if we call the police to help us out in those situations, that they're gonna know what they're gonna know what they need to do. However, we know that obviously there's a lot of human error when it comes to policing, whatever. There's a lot of human error when it comes to policing, and we can't just keep giving them a pass, because we don't give them a pass when it comes to dealing with black people. We don't give the police a pass and say, oh, maybe they need to get trained better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when we talk about reforming police and improving training, it always goes back to the victim of the situation. It's like, well, did they comply? What? Like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your answer? Comply? You know what I mean? Like, like I said, we've seen these incidents happen before, and there a lot of times the assailant walks out alive. And you think about, and even if it's rare, even if you want to say these incidents these tragedies are rare, well, and what happens with these traffic stops, if they're rare, well, if they're both rare, then obviously there's some commonality there, that we need to kind of iron out. And it gives us a sample size, the proper sample size to really think about reform and the things that we can improve, though. So what do y'all think about that, man? What do y'all think about the, and rest in peace, man. Prayers out to the family, man. I know, we all say it a lot and we all hear it a lot. No parent should have to bury their children. And I think that's definitely true, not just in this situation, but in all different type of situations, man. It's a tragedy, man, to see the loss of life. And I just want to keep my kid, innocent as long as I can. Like, I don't know about y'all, but, man, my son doesn't know what happened. You know what I mean? And I don't plan on telling my son what happened because he's an elementary school student. And the last thing I want him to think of, like, I want him to embrace his education, things like that. Last thing I want him to think of is him being unsafe when he's not around me or his mom. That's the last thing I want. I don't want him to feel unsafe when he's not around me. And if I tell him and try to explain it in a way even for him to understand, if I do that to him, then like I'm gonna ruin his innocence for good. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a good look, man. It's not something that I feel comfortable with. And like I said, I want him to kind of keep those kind of thoughts out of his head. You know what I mean? Like that's not something for an 8-year-old to even be thinking about, a problem that they should even have to go through. And so, what y'all think, man? What y'all think about the episode, man? You know what I mean? Chime in, give me a shout out, hit the comment section. I mean, we talked about Texas, we talked about battle rap, talked about the NBA playoffs. I had another topic I'll save maybe for my own little thing. I do want to talk about that soon though, because I don't want it to get too old. We talked about Atlanta, we talked about some crazy tweets, and we talked about them Hoochie Daddy shorts, man. So chime in and tell me what y'all think. We'll be back next week with another one. Like I said, we got a guest lined up already. Catch me outside too, man. Catch me outside. Your boy is outside now this year, 2022, year 2 of the podcast. We are taking this platform to different events. We're trying to get, we're just trying to get different exposure, man, and just trying to build it up, from the ground up, man. So shout out to everybody that's been tapping in, man. You guys are the best audience that there is. And like we got some upgrades coming, man. And like I said, this show is still evolving, man. Every episode we evolving into something different, man. So I appreciate y'all for listening again, man. And this is another episode of 280 Plus Podcast, y'all. We out. Peace.